good afternoon, friends. It is my pleasure to welcome all of you for this webinar on MCA21 version 3. Thank you all for joining this webinar in our journey of sharing knowledge with the corporate world. Friends, as you are aware, MCA21 version 3 is a technology-driven, forward-looking project envisaged to strengthen enforcement, promote ease of doing business, and enhance user experience. MCA21 version 3 rollout has been planned in phase to ensure minimum disruption in regulatory filing. Phase 1 of rollout was completed on 24th May 2021 with the launch of ebook, e-consultation model, and a revamped website of MCA21. As part of phase 2, LLP model for supporting all LLP filing was launched on 8th March 2022. In phase 3, 9 companies form related to charges, KYC of director and deposit were launched on 1st September 2022. And now another 46 form, including incorporation related form, has gone live on 23rd January 2023. These are the all new developments, new things. And when you are changing system, then the system, you may face some technical glitches. The objective of today's webinar is to address the various developments which are taking place and some issues relating to the corporate world, which our panelists can give answer. Today's program, we have our chief guest, Mr. Manoj Pandey, sir. He is IRS officer and law graduate and MBA. He is presently holding the position of Joint Secretary MCA. Earlier, he has served as a Commissioner of Income Tax, as Additional Director General and Advisor of CCI, and had been a part of delegation of number of international conferences like ICN, BRICS, NTAC, and bilateral technology negotiation with authorities of other countries. Manoj Pandey, sir, has gone for a meeting of Parliamentary Committee. So he is there and he has informed me that in case, as soon as he is free, he will join. In the meantime, we have other MC officials who are looking after the day-to-day affairs of e-governance cell. We have Mr. Sanjay Jain, Director e-governance cell, Ministry of Corporate Affairs. I welcome Sanjay sir for you. Then we have Mr. Vivek Meena, Deputy Director, E-Governance Cell, Ministry of Corporate Affairs. I welcome Vivek ji for today's webinar. Then we have Mr. A.V. Krishna, Assistant Director, E-Governance Cell, Ministry of Corporate Affairs. We have Nitesh Latwal. He is Associate Partner, Corporate Affairs and Compliance, Corporate Professional. We have Ms. Seema from LTI. We have Chandra Singh from LTI. And we have Ms. Vijaya from LTI and other officials of LTI. Friends, as you are aware that when this MCA21 launched, and that time everything was on, it was a new thing in 2005-06. I was involved since beginning. When the new site came, new things came, then there was a plan that what will happen in future. So many developments has taken place. People have realized that physical system to online system. Then MCA version 1 came, MCA2 came, and now MCA3. But today we are focusing on MCA3 version. In MCA3 version, they launched 5 important things. First was e-scrutiny. 23rd March 2021. Setting up a central scrutiny cell which shall scrutinize certain state through process forms filed by the corporate on the MCA21 registry. Now today what is happening, all of the scrutiny which are taking place through STP mode, you file the form and things will automatically check the system through machine learning, and various other developments are taking place. And it is a future vision. In 2006, I remember Mr. Y.S. Malik was there, who was in charge of e-governance cell. At that time, that some e-governance cell was not there, but he was in charge of MCA21. And he told that today what is happening, we have 23 registrar, and every registrar is looking after, and after that, and we have a, that time companies was also 9 lakh or 10 lakh companies. And that time he told that these things will be outdated and automatically system will do this and send email whenever you are filing forms, which were taking that particular time months together to issue a notice. So this is now e-scrutiny has taken place, and you must be receiving various emails from ministry for violation. Then on 24th May, they launched the e-consultation that was also part of V3, an online platform where proposed amendment draft legislation will be posted on MC website for external users' comments and suggestions pertaining to the same in structured digital format. I remember when this system was not there, then first time when MCA21, Companies Act 2013 was there and companies rules were there. That time corporate professional provided that service of e-consultation, and we have received more than 800 suggestions from various sources, and then we have compiled it and give it to the committee. And after that, we have done work for rules committee, insolvency rule, CSR draft rule, valuation, and competition amendment rule. This was a e-consultation. Now ministry has make this own software now, and there is no need of any outside intervention. So this e-consultation process is very effective. Whatever comments, because India is a reactive country. We react whether it's a regulatory or whether it's a professional and corporate. That time when some law is coming and government is asking suggestion, we are silent. But when we are implementing and that time some problems are coming, then we are raising issues. So this e-consultation is one of the best mode when the government is coming out for any comments and suggestion, we must suggest so they can change it. Once system is in implementation mode, the things can change. But once it is made, it is very difficult to change this, and ultimately loser is the corporate world and the professionals. So this on 24th they have done. Now version 3, there was another module was e-adjudication, a platform for conducting online hearing with stakeholders and end-to-end adjudication electronically. Now this is a game changer, and today what is happening, there are so many things which is removed from the decriminalization process. So there is no court, there is an internal process, ROC and RD, they are capable and they have given authorization from the law that they can do the adjudication. Now adjudication doing and going physically, it's also cumbersome because two types of violations are there. One is that you have not filed the form and there is a penalty. Here, there is no need to prove anything and there is no need to see anything. So this type of thing can be automatic. Conducting online hearing will be a boon for all the stakeholders, including the regulator, MC also. But sometime this, I hope that after e-adjudication, they will bring out automatic mode also, that if there is a violation, you pay fees and the automatic e-adjudication order will be given. There's no need of any hearing, only electronic process you can follow. So first this will come, and then we hope that next thing will also come. Next is compliance management system, that is yet to be launched. Now the government is using this, but if you see the e-scrutiny and the compliance management, it is linked with certain things. E-scrutiny is that they check at the initial point and then reject and accept and issue things. But this e-compliance, this CMS model, it is also a very, very important thing, and it will assist MC in identifying non-compliant companies, LLP, and then issue notice to the said defaulting company, LLP, generating alert for internal users of MCA. Now this is happening. Now what is happening? There are so many types of non-compliance. Next slide. Non-compliance can be like this, that defaults in holding AGM, defaults in filing financial in restatement, creation, modification, director disqualification, using of registered office address in multiple companies, maximum number of directorship. They have provided that you can become director in 10 companies, but you are in more than 10 listed company. So the system can see this composition of board and KMP. If it is not matching, the woman director is not there, or directors, it is not matching appointment of auditor. There is also some violation. The institute has chartered accountant institute has disqualified, and you are appointing on peer reviewer auditor is there. So all these things can capture. And then filing of resignation of director with registrar, company and directors KYC, CR expenditure is crossing limit and it is not doing, default in deposits, declaration of SBO, frequency of meeting if it is not, the gap between the two meetings is not as per the law, default in section 182, 181, 285, 86, 88, default in payment of managerial remuneration, that effective capital you are using, you are not taking shareholders approval, constitution of committee. So now you can understand all these things, all these violations, you can see this. Go to first slide. Yeah. So now in the CMS, yeah. So what will happen? You will file the information, system will identify the violation, and then non-compliant company, they will issue e-notice through the system. There is no need of any intervention. Now, for example, I have just given you, the system is showing that you are director in 10 companies and you are appointing in 11 companies. So the e-scrutiny can reject it. But sometimes something is there where the violation is not detectable, and the CMS model can identify if the violation is there. You have provided remuneration more than the prescribed things, and you have to have a shareholders approval, which you have not done, and various other things which I just showed to you. It will be one system where the India will be more compliant, and people will be more, the confidence of investor, confidence of the stakeholders will be more on the companies, because system will automatically identify the culprit and issues notice, and then you have to go for compounding and consent, or where the violation is serious in nature, then you have to go for the prosecution, whatever way it is. So this is, and last is that MCA lab. In MCA lab, they have done certain things, but the purpose of MCA lab is it will consist of corporate law expert and to evaluate the effectiveness of CMS, e-consultation model, etc. on ongoing basis. So that will be a one point which I'm thinking in future, that experts can be here. The issues, the queries, the points, the suggestions, the future law can be created here. So all types of things, all types of information can be at one place. These are the 5 things which MCA is working out, and this V3 model is providing. But simultaneously, we have to see this. Today, what is happening? AI is coming, machine learning is already the system is using, but AI is not, they must be using on the back end. But in future, I'm just thinking that when the AI model will be there, then what will happen? That you just write in a chat box of MCA 21 V3 model, and whatever information you want to know about the company, like director of this company, who this person is a director in how many companies, you will just write, and the system will, using AI model or machine learning, can provide you the answer of various things. You want to know the capital of X company, you can get. You know the auditor's name, you can get. So various things through chat box you can get when they will use the AI model which they are working out. So this is the new development, but simultaneously we should understand when something new is coming, then every new thing bringing out changes, and changes is always affecting your status quo, and status quo creates problem also. So when we have received this program, we got various queries we have received, and the queries relating to login ID, queries relating to DSC, incorporation forms, LLP. These are the issues they have So we have received questions, around 60 questions and 20 questions has come here, and more questions will come. So what will be the structure of the program is that after me, Mr. Sanjay Jain and Mr. Vivek Meena and Mr. A.V. Krishna will tell us about these 5 developments of V3. What is the progress? What are the future plan in this? And then we will have question answer session. Whatever question we have received, we will display, and whatever technical question, the LTI team will give answer, and whatever relating to the law, relating to the policy decision, the MC officers can e-governance cell officers can give answer. And when Mr. Manoj Pandey, when he'll free, he'll join us and he'll give us a concluding remark to us. So I will request now Sanjay sir to give your views on the entire things of MCA V3.
Thank you, Pawanji. Good afternoon to all of you and my friends. Sri Pawanji has already told all about the V3 structures. Nothing has left for us. फिर भी मैं आपको थोड़ा बहुत कुछ बताना चाहूँगा. What are the changes and what are the advancement made? MCA21 version 3 is basically a technological driven project envisaged for strengthen the enforcement and to promote the ease of doing business, keeping in view of the user experience. Keep in mind that it should be user friendly, as told by the Mr. Pawan. To continue the business or taking care of the business continuity, MC21 version 3 was planned in phase manner, just as earlier told. LLP launched already. Some around 56 plus 965 forms has already been launched. The major thing I would like to inform you that in MCA20 version 3, a new process for registration of users and digital signature certificate DSC association with two-factor authentication. These two things has been introduced for better identification of the stakeholder using MC21 services. We understand that due to these features in new feature in MC21 V3, users are facing difficulties in filing number of forms, due to which escalation has increased, tickets has increased, and our technical team LTI are also resolving the most of the issues. We understand all the forms are all the forms will be on web-based form, no e-forms. Pre-fill of informations has been introduced. Single gateway Bharat course has been introduced to reduce payment failure. The objective is this: AIML for fuzzy name matching for name reservation. Mr. Pawanji discussed about MCA lab. So I would like to inform that MCA lab has already been set up. There are the wide range of functionalities to be given to MCA lab. Currently, they are working on how to reduce resubmission in case of name reservation. Because whenever a stakeholder file the form for name reservation, there may be some business rules which allows the form, which are the for to be avoid the articles D, A and D. Some rules are given for AIML so that the stakeholder will be able to know which type of name is to be taken, so that number of resubmission is reduced. We have already taken various steps towards awareness and user for user awareness and training. You will also feel happy to know that we have engaged professionals, institutes, ICAI, ICSI, ICMI, ICWM, post work account. Multiple session webinars have already been conducted for you professionals by the ICSI team, ICAI team. FAQs for user awareness has already been uploaded on our website. While I would like to say before implementing or before before deployment of the forms, professionals were also engaged in testing of the forms. We understand due to some reasons like user awareness of login or DSC association, they may be facing some issues. We understand. As far as the timeline is concerned, most of the company forms have already been launched. Some forms along with some modules like e-education, enforcement, CMS for the company, they are planned, and they will be launched, I think, within the next quarter of financial year, first quarter. As far as the budget announcement are concerned, CPACE, Center for Processing Accelerated Corporate Exit. This notification, gadget notification, has already out, and CPACE will centralize the processing of voluntary exit for the company. It will enable faster exit. Now this function is handled by the jurisdictional ROC, and the center has been set up with effect from 1st of April 23. This is the new announcement last year made by the Honorable FM. Center Processing Center has already been announced to process all the non-HTTP forms centralized. This will be in the next financial year. Other modules like e-education enforcement, I already told. Our in the next quarter it will be launched. Recently we launched a 56 form which include incorporation form on 23 January, and almost all the maximum of the issues have already been settled down. Even there are some issues left on which our technical team also working, and all are the related to the DSC association maximum. I think as far as V3 is concerned, we have covered almost all the modules, timelines. MCA lab आपके उसमें आपने दिखाया हुआ था कि शायद लॉन्च नहीं हुआ है, बट MCA lab already been launched. पवन जी.
Okay.
I think compliance management. I think the stakeholders may be aware of all these modules like CMS, education. आपने सब कुछ बता ही दिया कि functionalities क्या है, what are the main functionalities.
Sir, I have just
functionalities की बताने की मुझे जरूरत नहीं है. Timelines की बात करें तो timelines जो हमारा CMS है, CMS for LLP almost ready है. I think within this month or next month it will be launched. Companies का CMS compliance management index, whenever all the forms will be launched, after that this module will be launched. So I think within 1, 2 or 3 months it will be launched. और कुछ आप कहना है कि पवन जी इसमें कुछ और ऐड करना है मुझे?
सर मेरे को बस ये पूछना था कि जैसे ये हम लोग का आपका ना ये प्लान जो है सीएमएस मॉडल, तो वो सीएमएस मॉडल कब तक लॉन्च हो जाएगा सर?
देखिए CMS module basically it will be of two parts, CMS for LLP and CMS for companies. LLP module I already launched. Our CMS LLP is ready, and the demo is planned in the next week before our secretary. After the demo, I hope कि CMS for LLP will be launched. CMS for company will be launched after the go live of all the company forms in V3. Some forms are left, around 50 forms are left, जो कि मैं ख्याल से in the next quarter वो हो जाएगा हमारा.
Can you
और
just tell us, sir, what will be the change after launching of CMS? What changes will take place?
changes, what CMS will do. CMS shall serve as a technological platform or solution for conducting compliance check and undertake enforcement drive of MCA, where e-notices will be served or issued by MCA for effective administration of Act, Company Act or LLP Act. So all the non-compliant, default compliance companies oblique LLP will be identified on the basis of business rules and validations. These will generate alerts or flag for non-compliance along with the categorization of the companies or LLP. Integration with it will have integration with other module functionalities of MC21 system such as e-adjudication, enforcement, master data services, BPD. इनके साथ में इसका integration भी रहेगा. तो functionalities are huge. As far as e-adjudication is concerned, it will leverage the information technology for conducting adjudication proceedings and holding e-hearings. It will provide MC21 system will provide an electronic platform for adjudication, which is now currently on physical mode.
Okay. But sir, this will reduce the burden on manpower of MCA.
मैन पावर तो उसमें अभी जो मैन पावर ऑलरेडी है, जब सब आपका डिजिटाइज हो जाएगा तो मैन पावर तो आप समझ जाएंगे विद द एग्जिस्टिंग सेटअप हो जाएगा.
Okay.
विद द एग्जिस्टिंग सेटअप हो जाएगा. I think other officers of e-governance may also be allowed to speak something if they
Mr.
would like.
Vivek, Mr. Vivek can suggest us.
यदि आप कुछ कहना चाहेंगे विवेक.
Hi, good afternoon. So Director Sir has already mentioned about the timelines and the modules that we have implemented, and Pawan ji has given a brief introduction of the different modules that are planned to be launched by MCA. I would just like to place here that from version 1 to version 2 and now to version 3, there has been a journey of MCA21 for it was launched in 2006, so now it has almost been 17 years of this digital platform that has been accepting the filings of corporates. Now, from version 1 to version 3, I mean, we have made some changes to ensure that the filing, the data that is available with our system has a level of consistency. So in version 2, we have taken a number of initiatives. As you already might know, we have done strike-off actions of the non-compliant companies. We have done the KYC exercise for directors as well as for the companies. Along with that, we have taken a number of initiatives to improve the filing experience. We've introduced straight through process filing in version 2 itself, so that the stakeholders do not have to wait for the approval of the officers of MCA once they have done the filing. So most of the bulk forms are already under STP. Now with all these changes and with all this cleaning up and the extra validation that we've added, we are now very sure about the data that is available with MCA21. So going forward with V3, our intention was that whatever data is available with MCA, we will use data analytics and AI ML tools in a big way to ensure not just the the ease of filing, not just improve the ease of filing, but also improve the compliance. So, now that we've launched V3, as Director Sir had already mentioned, we had introduced a different login registration and DST association process. Now, a lot of stakeholders are finding difficulty in that new registration system, but the checks that we have introduced is adding a layer of, transparency into the people who are filing the documents in the system, and that will also, it will link with the different modules and the e-notice system that we are developing with the V3. So, you talked about Central Scrutiny Center that we have already launched. That is now taking care of the straight-through process forms right now. And whatever deficiencies are noticed, the notices are being sent to the companies and necessary compliance action is taken by the ROC. Now, in the background of this CSC with the version 3, we will have a compliance management module that will not only do this simple flagging of non-compliance, wherein, let's say, the company has not done their annual filing, which is the easier part to identify. It's a rule-based system, so you can implement the rules and it is easier. What we envisage with the V3 is that not only just these flags, which are simple to implement, but we want to, use the AI/ML techniques to develop an early warning system as well, a early warning flag of any corporate fraud that the system can identify, and we are able to take some proactive steps to avoid it. Or let's say we will develop a risk metering of corporates as well as individuals, and based on that we can take actions wherever they are. Another thing that we have done with the V3 is that we have integrated all the different processes so that everything is now digitized. So in version 2, as you already know, all the filing system was digitized, but the enforcement action was still happening physically. The notices as well as the hearing and other aspects of the Ministry of Corporate Affairs were happening through physical system, and it wasn't really integrated with MCA21 portal. With the V3, we plan to integrate everything within the system. So let's say the corporate has done a filing, or let's say they've not done a filing, they've done a wrong filing. In either of these cases, whenever the system is able to identify a non-compliance, a flag will be generated and will be sent to the jurisdictional ROC or the RD. In that case, they will take compliance action. Let's say they want to initiate an inspection or they want to go into adjudication, depending on the violation of the company. Now, if they have to go to adjudication, we already have a system in place, the e-adjudication module that will be launched soon. So everything will be happening through the system. Within e-adjudication module, if you notice, the reports as well as the notices, the orders, as well as the hearing will happen online through the MCA21 system itself. There will not be any physical interaction or physical interference that will hinder the movement of the people. So let's say people during the COVID time had a lot of difficulty in reaching, let's say some foreign director was in a different country and there was a hearing notice. All they could do was ask a representative to come to the office for attending the hearing. With the e-adjudication module, we are removing the barrier of the boundaries, of the physical boundaries, so that the foreign directors themselves can take the hearing and they can present their case themselves. So it will restrict that the physical barrier issue. Now similarly, let's say the jurisdictional ROC finds that this particular flag generated by the system for compliance management module, it is good enough to start an inquiry or inspection. So we are also integrated with now our enforcement module, wherein all these different steps of the investigation and inspection will be done through the system itself. Right. So the idea behind V3 is that not only just the filing, but the other aspects of the compliance and the enforcement will be integrated within the system itself. And we will be relying a lot on the data that is available on the system to analyze and to find out if there are any non-compliances, if there are any area where MCA should proactively take steps to improve the experiences. So e-consultation module, as Pawanji had already mentioned, was driven through that requirement that whenever MCA is making any amendment or changes in the law, the comments of the stakeholders should be easily readable and identifiable by the policymakers. So AI/ML techniques will be able to identify the duplication in forms. Along with that, they'll be able to give the gist of the comments to the policymakers. Policymakers will also have access to the advanced dashboarding system, which can, slice and dice different type of data to provide meaningful information to the policymaker. Let's say how many CS are against this particular changes in the law, what region has most of the comments submitted into our system. All these small little details will be available to our policymakers at the time of making these changes. Uh, I think I can stop at that, and Mr. Vamshi can add what he wants to, and then later on we can go to the question. I understand a lot of people have a lot of questions with the implementation of V3. All I want to say is that there might be some teething issues, and with the changes that we've implemented, there might be some awareness issue as well. But the idea behind moving to V3 is that we want to improve the stakeholder experience. We are making a lot of form STP so that there is a minimum intervention with the officers of MCA. A lot of digital, tools and analytics will be used in assisting the users. So only thing I'll request with stakeholder is that uh, please raise tickets whenever you have an issue with MCA21 filing experience. Whenever you raise a ticket, we have a record of the issues that are there, and we monitor those issues on a daily basis in discussion with our service provider. And we have created dedicated helplines with our professional institutes as well. Whenever some stakeholder is facing any issue where they want to understand what is the existing process, they are finding it difficult to navigate through it. So those helpline from institutes help them in in awareness of the new system and the registration system that we put in place for login and DSC. So I will request, the stakeholders to always raise a ticket and to make use of these dedicated helpline in case you are facing some awareness related difficulties. Now with that, Mr. Vamshi, please, you give your point of view, and then we can go to the questions. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone. Sir has already Vivek sir and Director Sir Sanjay sir has already given a intro on adjudication module, CMS. So I will not be talking more on that. I will talk on the last part which Vivek Meena sir was talking about. So right now, many stakeholders are actually facing issues. We recognize that uh, regarding filing in B3. So I would just like to add what Vivek sir has said. So stakeholders, when they raise tickets, it will be recorded in our MCA records, and we have a track of it so that we can also keep a track on the aging of tickets and how to provide resolution on whatever issues stakeholders are facing. Also, I want to raise two main issues. What we have observed from our understanding is that there are a lot of user awareness issues, which if the stakeholders go through the FOQs, which are published frequently on the MCA website, that will solve some of the issues. And also there are some legacy data issues. So if some company through one particular professional has given some information, and any new professional who is coming to do the company's filing has given some other information. So V3 system is based uh, and is dependent much more on pre-filling of the data. So what we have envisaged is we should be creating such a system where most of the data should be pre-filled automatically, so that stakeholder will not have the trouble of filling every form, and also that will be useful for regulatory purposes also. So right now we are facing legacy data issues. So lot of stakeholders know how many have faced problem when they wanted to migrate into V3 business user, because same person has created so many IDs. So we all know the what issues we are facing, and not only in the user registration, but also data provided by companies through various forms. So there are definitely some legacy issues. There are definitely some user awareness issues which are being slowly resolved. I think the user awareness issues are being resolved now, and users can definitely go through the FAQs published. So that will help that part, and legacy data issues are being slowly solved on a day-to-day basis. And I advise the stakeholders, be assured that helpdesk team and MCA team is working 24/7 to resolve the issues. I know definitely, because this is the transition time, a lot of stakeholders are facing many issues. We recognize it. The number of tickets have definitely increased. Escalations issues have increased. But be assured that MCA is taking up these issues on very high priority, and these issues will definitely be resolved. I thank you for giving me the time. I think we can go forward, and I ask Mr. Pawan Kumar to take this webinar forward.
Thank you, Mr. Krishna. Thank you very much. So you have rightly pointed out what is happening. There is a issue of awareness, or there is the issue of technicality. Now, sometime because some issues are there that they have raised the ticket, but there is no response. So because on your side there are so many queries and you are checking first in first out. So what we'll do, we have received now on system 81 questions, 60 questions. So we have 140 questions, but so many questions are duplicate also. So we are removing. Now I'll request Nitesh that he can raise the questions, and whatever questions connected to technical point the LTA team can give. Seema madam is there, Vijay and other Chandra Singh is there, so they can reply. And technical point, the legal point or other point, you can divide. So how to address the question to whom? That's a very difficult. So LTA side, anybody can reply. We will raise the question and anyone can reply. And the legal side, Mr. Krishna and Mr. Vivek can give, and Sanjay sir, if he wants to add, he can add. Over to you, Nitesh. Please ask the first questions. Unmute yourself, please.
So dear panelists, we have received many queries. So we have categorized the queries into general queries, login issue queries, DSC related issue queries, and incorporation related queries, and the general forms which the company used to file in the normal course of its business, and the LLP related forms. So we have put it all those queries all after filtration, that what is logical queries. So we have put it in the PPT form. So we will first start with the general queries. So anybody who has the answer, please do provide in brief, because there are lots of questions coming up. So it is regarding with the LLP. So LLP, as you are aware that LLP system is already on the V3 portal. Now it's more than 1 year. So some systems, some buttons, some system is still not working, like radio button, PAN verification, attachment. Even after making that attachment in the form, it goes blank. So stakeholders are eager to know when it will become fully functional. So anybody from LTI team?
So Nitesh ji, I'll answer this. This is Vivek from MCA.
Yeah.
So we understand that there were some issues with the LLP forms, and some stakeholders might be facing some issues with the filing of the forms as well. Unless we have a specific ticket number and a specific company, in this case, we would not be able to comment. What we see from our system is that the filings are happening, and we've had more filing than the previous year since the launch of the V3 LLP module. So it's not that the stakeholders are not able to file the forms. Although I understand there were issues, and we've identified and closed all the bugs that were there, but still, if some users are facing it on a case-to-case basis, we are checking those and closing it. So unless we don't have a specific ticket to examine, we won't be able to comment. However, only thing I can say is that the filings are happening in the system, and by the numbers that I can see, that LLP filings are going fine.
Okay.
Having said that, I would like to add here to Vivek ji, sir. If we have a set of users who are finding issues filing LLP, we can do one session with them wherein one person from the user community can come and start filing, and others can view, so that we can give them any help which they want while doing. But pan verification and other thing looks like more of a data issue rather than a form issue. But having said that, we are more than happy to take up. If you think that is doable, we can have one session for LLP forms only. But in that case, we would need users from your side who are going to file form online, and we'll have our technical team look into it. Wherever they are finding issue, either help you resolve those issues then and there, and if at all it is a generic issue, we'll like to give the time frame and we'll solve that by that time. So as rightly said by Vivekji, in general there is no issue, but could be uh, one of a issue to few users. But if you think it is a bigger problem, we are ready to take that, and we can set up one session only for that.
What
Okay.
So, Mr. Nitesh, I would also like to add here, in the interest of the general participants here, in cases
sir.
where the form is downloaded and blank,
Hanji.
we have observed in many situations where the form is not properly saved. The issue could be anything, probably connectivity or anything else. The form is not appropriately filled up on the system, and it typically comes blank with some field or other. In
So
this
what-
case, it is suggested. In this case, it is suggested that the SRN which has been generated, that can be edited again, and the form will appear fine. So I just wanted to address this separately so that everyone who is attending
Okay.
in this forum has this understanding.
Okay, sir. ठीक है, sir. Very well. Sir, the next is that the approval, because there are few forms left which requires the approval of the ROC. So whenever the company also reaches to the ROC faces the same problem which the stakeholders are facing. So what is your take on that? Because ROC officials at their offices also facing the same problem. So they said they do not get the form. They are not able to fetch the form. So once they able to fetch the form, only then they can process it further. Yes, sir.
Sir, we would like to have the specific instances of these scenarios, because generally our back office support team is getting in touch with the spokes of the various ROCs, and whenever these type of issues are raised, we are taking the cognizance of those scenarios, and we are taking it up on priority. We haven't none of the queries which has been raised by any of the ROCs that they are unable to fetch. Yes, one or two scenarios which has come from ROC Mumbai, which we have been able to help them out, and it has been taken care of. Now, if we have got spokes placed at all the respective ROCs, the spokes can either get in touch with the team, or the ROCs themselves can raise these issues with this MCA e-governance cell. And I think Vivek sir will be able to comment upon it, that whether we are receiving these kind of observations from various ROCs or not, sir.
I think this is more related to LLPs, where a number of partners are being added and deleted. I think in these
Yes.
cases, these approvals happen from the ROC officers, and they are saying that there is some time lag. So what we've noticed is that a lot of the times the filings done by the LLPs in our previous versions were not in the correct form, that were implementing the changes in the contribution as well as, let's say, the director changes. So there is that data related issues as well in these filings. Aside from that, we are not noticing any major issues with filing of these forms, especially with respect to the ROCs. There is not much of a concern. I mean, we are identifying issues wherever there are for LLP Form 3 and Form 4, and we are monitoring the progress of these changes. Most of the issues that we have observed is that the contribution related changes were not filed in the correct form in the previous version. But wherever there are some technical issues, Manoji and their team are, taking cognizance of it and trying to resolve it as soon as possible.
So, adding to this, there were some backlogs also since the process has of fetch is changed in the ROC side also. So it is like user because of the earlier pendency there were some delays, but now the pendencies are getting over, and the fetch is not on the basis of users or ROC officers will. It is on the random basis. So at that time also it happens that they cannot choose the right form at their wish. It comes to different people, so you have to wait for some more time. But we are seeing a gradual reduction in the back office backlogs, and this will be sorted out very quickly. In next 1 week's time, I think we should be online.
Okay, sir.
Okay, Nitish, just a
Yeah.
minute. Vivekji and Sanjay sir, I have one person has sent the answer, which and then I will explain to you. Please note that every problem can be explained cannot explained by raising the ticket, and need to be explained, discussed with someone who understands the complexity involved. Help desk number is unable to resolve or provide solution to the problem. So my suggestion is that here there are 3 types of problems are there. One is like this button is not working, this is not, that may be temporary. Some issues connected to that you are not able to download, you're not uploading system. So whatever questions we have received, if we can, with our team, we can work out and categorize it that these problems related to technical problem, these related to something which you are working out and you are aware, and it can solve like this. So the user can be more benefited by these things. What is your suggestion, sir?
इसमें मैं बोल basically what happened Pawan ji ki there may be issues which will be related to user specific, you can say user specific. So in that case we used to connect with the stakeholder if their problem is different from a generalized problem. However, we have also engaged professionals to connect with the stakeholders. So even if a stakeholder is facing some peculiar problem, then we will be happy to assist them. As such, there is no issue कि he is not able to explain the problem through tickets. So in that case, we used to connect. All the service provider technical people used to connect on daily basis. One person used to connect as many person as he can. So we are also doing this.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Next.
And let me also add that whenever we think that there might be something that we can add here, might be an awareness issue, our team from LTI will be answering that. If there is some specific issue, we'll directly say that the stakeholder has to file a ticket so that our team can examine it. Right. So please go ahead.
Yeah. So the next question is the policy matter issue, because earlier in the V2 portal, there's an option called pay later fee. And now that option has been removed from the V3 portal. Why this question is placed? Because there are many professionals who at very nascent stage who generally create the pay later fee and send it to their client companies to pay on their own. Now this option, now removing this option will create a problem among some professionals which are very at the early stage of their profession, where they do not have any funds to make the payment on behalf of the client. I just want to know whether this option will be there in next sometime, or whether this option will never be there.
Seema ji, please, if you can answer this.
Sir, this functionality is going to be there, and it is the way it is there in V2. Similar functionality as of now, it is not working, but it is going to be there in future. So we are working on that. We will come back to you then whenever we'll be updating that will make everyone know about it that the pay later functionality will be functioning and will be working the similar way it is there in V2.
Okay. So the next question is with respect to the master data, company master data. There's some query or there's some issue that they're existing that in a company, some director, some name of the director, which is actually not a director, has been associated with the company as per
Right.
the company master data.
Right. So let me answer
Which
this case.
yeah,
So
yeah.
this was reported to us some time back. I mean, around a month back when we rolled out our new company module, that some of the data that is now synced with our master data system on the website, that there are some entries of directors or let's say some other entries which are not consistent with the filings that are done by the stakeholder. Uh, Let me first tell you why this is happening is that, we have planned to roll out version 3 in a staggered manner. So some of the functionality we have moved to V3. However, some of the functionalities are still in our previous version, that is V2. So there is there is the data sync that is happening on a per day basis, so that all these functionalities are still running. So the Spice Plus form, while it has been migrated to version 3, the master data service available on the website is still at version 2 system. So there is a sync happening of this data with the V2 after filing of the system. So we identified that there was some issues with the syncing of this data, and that is why some wrong entries were getting applied to these cases. We have identified these issues, and our LTI team is working on it. They have, they have been able to resolve most of the issues. However, if any new issue comes, they are monitoring it and they are resolving it on a daily basis.
Okay. So this is the this is that director not associated. There is also a problem of existing director cease to be of the part of the master data.
Right,
so
right.
that is also
that is a similar issue only, and they are taking care of those also.
okay. So the queries related to login ID, just brief it out that there is a migration problem from V2 to V3. Once this migration happens, now when they log in, then they say ki that PAN is already there, that user ID is already created. So whosoever is mapped, whosoever migrated to V3 portal, he is not able to create login again. Who's not able to log in again with the error showing that that user ID does not exist or something like that.
So I think Chandraji and Seema and Vijaya might be expert already in user registration, because we've always explained this again and again. Chandraji, if you can please.
Yeah. So Niteshji, we have seen instances where in the V2 regime,
Yes, sir.
there was a free hand to everyone to create accounts at their will, right? And somebody created account based on with their PAN, with email ID, with mobile number, with membership number, etc., etc. So we have seen instances where stakeholders ended up creating as many as half dozen accounts, some of them being used, some not being used, etc., etc. Now, when there is a conflict of information in an ID being created on V3, and that account is that V2 account is used on V3 portal, the system is unable to fetch what account it is being referred to, and it throws a message that the ID does not exist, or there will be an additional information also that the user account and password do not match. So in these cases, the best option is to approach us to get the account reset, and we will be able to assist the stakeholders. In the similar fashion, where a PAN, email ID, membership number, etc., has already been used in multiple accounts which have been created on V2, and one of the accounts is being migrated to V3. We will assist in deactivating the dormant account, which is not being used and is preventing the user in migrating to V3 portal using the V2 account, which is currently in use by the stakeholder. So
Okay.
this is the best way that I can assist to approach us, and will be able to assist the stakeholders in whatever situations they fall in.
So how they can approach you through email ID or something? Is
Yes,
there
so
any?
Yes, one thing I wanted to add to what Chandraji has already mentioned is that in the cases of multiple logins, we are taking assistance of the professional institutes. They are the channel through which the submission will happen for the multiple logins. And we will examine those cases and we will do the necessary changes in the system. But that channel has to be through the professional institutes only. Yes, Chandraji, if you want to add to it.
I'm done, sir. This is all. So probably if the stakeholders can approach the respective helplines and approach us through that, we'll be able to assist users quickly.
Further, Chandraji, I believe we should give the documents which are there for updating V2 ID to V3, and on the user profile where a user is trying to become a business user and all. If those documents can be given, I think that will be one other support. Though those are available, but again, once again, if you can send it in the interest of everyone, that will be good.
Yes, but let me just repeat it again that the channel has to be through professional institutes only.
Okay. So the next query is regarding the registration of a director as a business user on the new portal. So there appears as a personal detail mismatch. Whenever he puts his PAN and whatever, all things are correct. But once it is going for this registration with the VT portal, so there appears to show a message regarding personal details mismatch.
Chandraji, I think you can answer this.
So this is a situation particular in those cases where DIN has been obtained earlier and the name is not in the same order as the PAN had, as the name is available in PAN database. This is situation number one.
Okay.
Second, we have also witnessed situations where the date of birth as per PAN database and as reported in our records are different. So these are the cases which generally result into these errors where personal details mismatch. So the options available are to get a form file to correct the DIN information in terms of order of the name in accordance with PAN database, and this issue should be sorted out.
Okay. Okay. So the next question is very long. I will cut it short. So this is regarding that. It is again regarding the registration of a director or designated partner in a LLP. So whenever they try to log in, so the error is showing that account already exists with this DIN number, and you have to try it again. So whenever they want to they want to forget the password details or they want to log in again with that forgetting password, say they do not receive any OTPs on their mobile or even email ID. So they are not able to register themselves on the version 3 portal.
So, sir, we have observed these situations where DIN has been used for a company or LLP user account for the purpose of receiving OTP, and the DIN or DPIN has been mentioned there. Now, when the user is trying to create an account with that specific DIN DPIN, this prevents the user with throwing an error message that this DIN DPIN which is being used is already registered on the portal. We are trying to get this validation sorted out so that we can enable the DIN holders, DPIN holders to create an account on the portal.
So how they get, why they are not receiving the OTPs? If they receive the OTP, then they will be able to log in without
right.
any.
So the DIN or DPIN is already mentioned in that company or LLP account for the purpose of receiving OTP, right?
Yeah.
Now this DIN is already existing, or DPIN is already existing in the system
Yes, sir.
in a user account. You cannot
Yes.
create another account using the same DIN or DPIN,
Depend. Okay.
right? So this is
Okay.
preventing the users on coming on board to the portal.
Okay. Okay.
And the other situations that you saw here, hint question, PAN, etc.,
Yeah.
are related are in the exact are falling in the exact same situation that we discussed in the first question, multiple accounts, etc.
Multiple accounts. Okay.
Yes.
ठीक है. So here is another question with regard to login ID. So if somebody wants to deactivate all his ID on an urgent basis and want to create a fresh ID because so what is the process, how to deactivate all those existing and create a fresh one?
So, sir, here either you can raise a ticket, or if at all it is, if you have larger numbers, that can be routed through institutes via keeping MCA in loop. Once we get an MCA approval, we can do bulk deactivations.
Okay.
There are two options. One, individual can log a ticket for deactivation. Second, institute can collect, parse it through MCA, and we can do bulk deactivation.
No,
So
normally, Chandra-
However, sir, I would also like to caution that deactivation of the ID means that all the SRNs which are lying in that account will be lost, and the stakeholders will not be able to recover that. So has to be very cautious in
Okay.
deciding which ID is being deactivated out of the multiple accounts that have been created on V2. And has to be really careful, because we identified certain people who earlier requested for deactivation. We did that, and then they came back with a request to activate it again. That will actually pose a lot of challenge here.
Okay. So how can a registered user, how one can change its user details from registered user to business user? So I
Okay,
think
so
this can
there is
be,
a very simple video which is hosted on our
yes.
portal, and if anyone can refer to that, the process is very simple. Once you have registered as a user on V3, you have to log in with the ID and password that you have chosen, and there is an option to upgrade the profile. While upgrading the profile, certain information is requested relating to PAN, then professional membership, etc. After the validations, the user can switch from registered to business user, and he can choose the appropriate role, whether it's manager, secretary, business user, professional, authorized signatory, etc. So these options can be chosen as business user.
right, the details are available on the FAQ page as well as the video that Chandraji is referring to. I think a lot of institutes have also put in their FAQs and step-by-step guide as to how they can upgrade.
Shivam, next question. So, so every time we need, this is also a very regular query. Every time when we need to create a new password to the main login due to website issue, the login gets hanged. This is a very general problem which somebody is facing today, not but tomorrow.
What is the issue, Niteshji? Sorry, I'm not
This
able to understand.
whenever they create a new password, they after successful creation of the new password, whenever we log in with the new password, that website get hangs. I think this is not very technical. Shivam, next. So how can we change email ID of the business user in new portal?
So this, yes, Chandraji, please go on.
So Niteshji, this is sacrosanct,
Okay.
because the email ID in V3 portal is actually the identity of the stakeholder coming to the portal.
So it cannot be changed.
This cannot be changed.
Okay. So he has to create a new one?
So if there is already an email ID existing,
with
the point is why the email ID is being changed,
Okay.
So this is question number one. There could be extreme cases where the email ID is not accessible anymore.
Okay.
In those cases, this can be done. However, as suggested in previous slides, coming through the channel of ICSI professionals, this can be entertained. So,
with the CRF.
With the CRF. Okay. So nothing to, matlab, I do not have to come through any professional institution, or should I come directly to you?
To come to professionals only, professional institute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any,
and
is
the
there any-
precaution and the
Yeah.
precaution that I suggested, since all the SRNs which would be lying in this email ID would be linked to that email ID only.
Okay.
And if a new email ID is mapped for the user, the earlier SRNs will be lost from the my application page.
Okay.
So going forward, I think users have to understand how the login system will function. This email ID will be of essence in the enforcement and other related compliances as well. So ideally, they should use the email ID that they will continue.
So there might be possibility that I am a company secretary in one company and I left that company. Okay. And that email ID.
For those cases, Nitesh ji, there's a different type of account within the professional users. They can create what is the account called, Chandraji? There's a separate account for
authorized signatory.
No, within a
professional staff members.
Professional staff member, right. So they can create a professional staff member within a business user account, and when the employee goes, they can create their own account. So that facility we provided.
Okay.
But the changing of email ID, we are not considering that as of now.
Okay.
Like
So one needs to
Okay.
Okay. Next. So there is another stakeholders query that whenever I am trying to forget the password of the director on the portal, that OTP do not receive on his or her mobile or email ID. So I think we have already answered it.
Right.
Next. How? This is important one. In case of a foreign director, when we register director on MCA portal, in this case, he also did not receive any email ID OTP in her or his email ID or mobile. So I think this problem is also relevant from the standpoint of view of KYC of a foreign director. Sometimes foreign director facing same problem that they do not receive OTP.
Right. So, Niteshji, here I would like to update you all that what has been happening in such cases where the mobile numbers were acquired outside India. We have been triggering the OTPs. The OTPs were being delivered to the service provider in the specific country. However, those SMSs were not being delivered further by the service provider to the user of the mobile number. So we identified this issue, and we are providing a provision here for the OTP on email for the purpose of authentication.
Okay. Next.
This is a new change which has come in for foreign director registration. Only email OTP will be taken, and this is implemented last week only.
Okay.
After getting requests from many users that OTP is not getting and they are not able to register foreign partners.
Okay.
And this is only for foreign partners only.
Only the foreign directors and partners. Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
So error are popping up stating that there is a mismatch in details, even though the details are pre-filled as per the DIN number entered by the stakeholder. The details itself are correct and as per the director KYC. What is to be done in this situation?
This is exactly the same case that we discussed earlier, Nitesh.
Okay, the PAN number. Okay.
Yes, personal details mismatch.
Next, Shivam, next. So while registering on the new portal as a business user, under the professional category, it shows PAN already there and membership already exists. How to deactivate this to create a new one? We have been trying for many days.
So we need to follow the same process that we discussed for deactivation of the IDs which are not required. So wherever there are accounts which have PAN or membership number is already mapped, and the user is trying to create a business user role in V3, that existing PAN or membership number or email ID in other account will prevent the user from creating business user account. And for the purpose of deactivation, the professional channels can be used.
Okay. So is there any email ID for the professional institution? We are actually not aware about that email ID where the professional institution has created for this purpose. Or is there any email ID? Is there any email ID which MCA has provided?
So I can tell you the nodal person from ICSI is Ms. Deepa Khatri, and from ICAI will be Ms. Sarika. So their email must be available on the website if you see, and if you get in touch with them, they will assist you.
One is Deepak Khatri and the second one is from the ICAI?
Sarika Singhal.
Okay. So then moving on to the DSC related issues. So to cut it short, so this is a very typical situation where because since the new DIR 12 requires the DSC to be attached of a director who is being appointed. So in case of director nominated by the government, so since they are very senior and try to take the DSC of them, somebody don't have DSC as well. So there's some challenge in case of the government company, how to get away with this requirement in case of certain this typical situation like in government companies.
Niteshji, first and foremost, even if when a person is belonging to any government department or agency, then also he's required to take DIN. So for DIN also you are required to provide the DSC. They are the one who's fixing DSC. So this is the requirement which we have because earlier we were giving the directors were giving their consent in DIR 2, which was filed as a attachment to the document. Sir, if you see in the one of the major changes which has taken place in V3 is we have tried to digitalize as many as information which is taken in the form of attachment. So that has led us to changing this DIR to which was going in a physical form, because sir, like this has come because there was a requirement stating that many of the persons are saying that we have not even given consented, or we can set it for certain period of time. So if they are, so they become liable for when they are putting their DSC onto the document. So sir, it is a case which has been keeping in mind the good governance. All the professionals or all the government officials also, whosoever is consenting to appoint, if he's signing the consent in DIR 2 which was being attached, so he'll not be shying away from putting his DSC on the form.
Okay. Next. So I registered my DSC in FO services tab, but it is not showing in the show DSC under the profile update tab. So how to update it?
So if the DSC is not showing in the profile update tab, that means, so I'm slightly confused with this question. It is not showing in DSC under profile update tab. So we have provide a facility in profile now that the user can see what DSC number is actually associated with their profile. If the DSC serial number is not appearing, that means that DSC is not registered with the profile. So in that case, the user at the time of upgrading a profile can choose to register the DSC there and update from there. So I'm not sure why this question, because it's a simple process of registering the DSC in the profile.
Okay. Next. Shivam, next. Even though I have registered DSC, but there is also error that DSC against this membership number is not registered while trying to submit the form. So even
Okay.
after registration, I am getting this this error that DSC not registered against this member.
Right. So here, one confusion that prevails among users is that while filing a form on V2, the DSC should be registered on V2 portal.
Yes,
While
sir.
filing a form on V3, the DSC should be registered on V3 portal. Right.
Okay.
So
Okay.
those two operate differently in terms of identification of the user related to their DSC.
Okay.
We are facing this issue aside from that, we were facing this issue some time back because of verification failing from eMudra, the DSC provider for the
Okay.
users.
ठीक
So
है.
this issue has now been taken care of.
Okay.
And if there is such error appearing, the DSC can be registered again with the profile and the issue will be sorted out.
So
Okay.
again, here I would like to add, while we are updating the forms which are getting downloaded, whatever information, if we have put in a membership number, then your profile should have that membership number. If at all we are a registered user and using against a PAN number, that association has to be created. And if at all a professional is using as a multi-role, he's a director and also as a professional, then he has to save himself twice in his profile page, once while he's a professional and getting saved his membership number, and other doing a din also in that, and the PAN. So whatever information you have updated in your profile, the association will create with that only. If at all you have not done it with what happens is, if you are a director and a professional, and you are just assigning or affixing your DSC as a director, but your account is having a membership number, it will not allow you to
file the form.
It will say your DSC is not registered.
Okay.
So please be assured of that. As a professional, if you are playing multi roles, then you have to choose multi roles and save in your profile while registering and getting your DSC registered there. And
Okay.
so similar is for the designated director user. If they have registered themselves with the PAN, they should use the PAN. If they have registered themselves with the DIN, then they should put DIN as an association in the uploaded form where they are affixing the DSCs. So if that happens properly, you will not face any problem going forward.
Okay. Next, Shivam. So in case of professional, one error is also showing that link your DSC with the COP number.
So COP number is not required. Only thing is, while we are linking ourselves as a professional, don't put A or F, choose fellow or associate. And if at all the COP is there, that will automatically get linked there.
Okay. Next. So this is regarding a problem with respect to Form 3 of a LLP, where an LLP is not able to upload the form due to an error which showing as.
This is the same thing I told you a minute back, that the user would have registered himself with a PAN and he's trying to get his DSC validated against a DIN. So he has to choose and add himself as his DIN as in the profile and associate the DSC with his DIN also. Then he'll be able to do it. There is no problem with that.
Next. So how to register or associate DSC of a charge holder?
So you don't need to register a DSC of a charge holder. This relaxation has been given by MCA. So charge holder do not need to register his or her DSC.
Okay. Next. Shivam, next. Some forms are filled with the registered DSC and some forms are not able to file with the same DSC. And ID is the same, even after ID is the same and DSC is the same. How is this, whether
For
it can be
filing,
possible? Yeah.
no, it is not possible. For filing or attesting, getting your DSC attested, you have to be a business or a professional user. A registered user will not be in a position to associate or validate his DSC.
Okay. Even they do not able to file the form.
No.
If it is a registered user. Okay.
No, sir.
So there's a one more technical error that somebody mistakenly, by mistake, DSC of a director has been associated with the business user ID. Later, he wants to associate DSC of a director with his ID, and the following error is shown that DSC is already registered with another user. Kindly select the correct DSC to register.
So
So,
these checks and balances are put in place to avoid these issues only. Earlier, it was happening that DSCs of many directors and have been used by professionals and they are
Yes.
getting them. So this is actually happening. So in this case, they have to first deregister their
Deregister. Okay.
and then or otherwise a easy option could be they can have another DSC button and
Okay.
get it registered.
Okay. Okay. So the other issue is respect to company incorporation. That it is a, now we have seen this kind of problem that COI, even after this company do not received actually a COI, but in that case PAN and TAN received on the same date of incorporation. But company is facing because company is not able to open the bank account or other registration.
This was an issue 15 days back. Now things have settled, and in last 1 week, entire backlog has been cleared. Only where PAN-10s are not issues, those COIs are pending, and that too in low 3-digit, which is pending because of the data issues from V2 to V3. Which is getting sorted out, and hopefully within next 7 days it will be online and you will not face any problem going forward.
Okay.
Any case, anybody having any specific requirement of COI, we can take on a specific phase. You can mail us in bulk, we can get those generated faster in case any urgency is there, and we will be able to help you out. But as far as this goes, in last 1 week most of the backlog has been cleared, and it
let
will
me
not
add
be there.
here. So this was a known issue, and a lot of the issues that were happening have been resolved. Some of the issues will be resolved as Manoj ji has mentioned, but whatever issues are there, you please raise a ticket. Sending the mails to us will, we'll only revert with saying that the ticket first should be registered with the system. Only then we take it up.
Okay. Next. So there is a query regarding the run application for changing the name of an existing company. A form, the run form is not allowing to click on submit button because of this error that you should suffix should be the same as entered in the old name. I don't know why this. Yeah.
This is a correct validation, sir. You cannot change the status. You cannot change private limited to public limited company or Section 8 company. What you are doing is you have to change your first name or the names which are there. The suffix of private limited or limited word cannot be changed, sir.
But you mean to say suffix means private limited or limited word?
Yes, that is it. Or LLP,
Okay.
you cannot change all those scenarios. No, for that you've got different.
You have
forms.
different provisions. Yeah.
Yeah,
Next.
and different provisions
Next.
also.
Shivam, next. This is the same which you talked in the last to last query.
Yes,
next.
sir.
Next. So there is one query regarding that foreign directors, that the company have, in case of incorporation, the company have 2 foreign directors, one resident director. The resident director has DIN. However, foreign director does not have any DIN or PAN. But in the form, because there's also a provision that in case of foreign director, you need to fill in the passport. However, in the form itself, it says that you have to fill in the PAN number. There is no field of passport.
Sir, Vijay here. So, sir,
Yeah.
in case of foreign national, the person who is not having a DIN number, so PAN is not mandatory, sir. PAN is optional field. So, whenever you're not entering the PAN number, so there is a section called address proof and identity proof, right? So, if you are not going to enter the PAN number, so by default, system will select the drop down value as passport number, and in the identity proof number, you have to mandatorily enter your passport number. So if you maybe I think you're comparing the form V2 form with V3. So in V2 form we have a separate field called passport number.
Yeah.
In V3 form you will not directly get to see this field on the along with the PAN field, but
On the face of the form, it is not showing.
so it will come as a identity proof number, sir. So in that system, it will automatically pre-fill the drop down wherein you can attach your passport number or bank statement, or multiple options are available, right? So if you do not enter the PAN number, and moreover for foreign directors, it is not mandatory to enter your PAN number. If you don't enter your PAN number, so system will by default select the drop down value as passport, and then there you have to enter your passport number.
Next, Shiv. I applied for a company name on 10th and still pending for approval. This is, I think, a backlog issue. Next.
Yes.
So there's problem regarding the EMOA and EAOA. So even after one of the stakeholder has filed for incorporation with the help of by filing MOA in the E mode, the ROC has requested, or ROC asked to submit the physical MOA AOA. So is there any kind of direction by that you need to have also the physical MOA AOA?
No, sir. Actually, to analyze this further, at least we need the SRN number actually. So we have put up all the FAQs which are relating to incorporation forms and portals, sir. So they were clearly written in which all scenarios user have to file EMOA, EOA as a linked filing, and EMOA AOA as an attachment. So even in terms of Section 8 company, unless all number of subscribers are more than 7, or you have non-individual subscribers whose country is other than India, then it is EMOA AOA can be filed as a linked filing, sir. So only in these two scenarios you have to file it as an attachment.
Okay. Shiv, next. So we incorporated a company on 22nd of March and applied for DIN via SPICE form, but we have not received any DIN allotment letter, and the master data of MCA reflects only one director. So how to correct it?
So, sir, in this case, user has applied for the second DIN or second director ke liye, they have applied for a DIN number in the form.
Yes.
Is it?
Yes.
That DIN allotment letter also have not received, and
nor showing on the MC portal.
So, sir, again, we need the SRN number to analyze this issue.
Vijaya, this is where this is actually V2, V3 data issue, wherein these are provisionally approved, but not automatically approved. So this has to be dealt specifically. But having said that, we can just look into it.
Yeah, so we have to first see whether it is V2 SRN or V3 SRN. From this, issue description, we are not able to identify what is the SRN number.
Thanks.
So, sir, whether we have any kind of specific email for the incorporation, if I have any query respect to incorporation related problem?
For technical, you can always raise a help desk and somebody will definitely come to you, or the one which I suggested, that we can have one session with you for which is a total technical session where you can file a form in front of us and you can ask your queries while filing a form, specifically incorporation for both LLP and company, which is the main forms. We can always help you out, so that once, because sending emails will actually, because there are many scenarios, one form has multiple scenarios, and I don't know, while users are putting or getting the data done, where the issue can be. So we can always come and help you out technically via user session. We are more than happy to bring technical experts, and you can file the forms in front of us and ask various queries. Maybe 1, 2, 3 forms can be filed for each scenarios, and we can always answer your queries. That would be a better thing rather than sending mails, and because
Yeah.
at times mail doesn't help, and what you actually
Yes.
want and what is replied are totally different.
Correct, sir.
Nitesh, what I'll suggest is that in such cases where we are mentioning that we will need to examine, you please share us the ticket number also along with the query so that we
No
can
issues.
examine. You already
Okay,
have
sir.
our contact detail. You please send us. We will get this examined.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
In case of DIR3, they filed the form for taking the DIN in February, but the form is also, the status of the form is also showing approved, but they are not receiving the DIN allotment because there is some technicality that unless until you get the DIN number, you cannot act as a director. So that the company is like in a spot that either it's very impossible for the company or that director whether to act as a director or not, since he did not receive the DIN number. So there's a lots of query on that DIN allotment letter.
So, Mr. Nitesh, we had some backlog here for DIR3, but that has all been sorted out now. I think it should be an older issue, which is already cleared. But if you can help me with the DIN number or the SRN, we will be glad to help with this.
Okay, sir. Next. In PDF downloaded form, the stakeholder is unable to view the attachment when at the time of filing the CHG4. It is not with respect to charge form only. There are other forms where you actually attach the attachments, compulsory attachment. But when you are able to, at the time of the filing, you cannot able to see that attachments.
Right. So in this case, the option that I suggested in the first question, where the users were unable to see a blank form or unable to see the,
yes.
so the SRN can be edited again and the attachment would be visible. So if the form which has been filled up and if you are downloading the form has a different version, the best
Yes.
option is to edit the SRN and the issue will be sorted out.
Okay. Check. Next. This is the same one. Next. So this is regarding the DI12. One DI12 form was filed in the month of February, March for the appointment resignation of the KMP, but the signatory details on the MCA portal has not been updated.
So a pending master data updation for DIR12 was done last week in bulk. Many issues were sorted out. I hope there should not be any backlog on this. If the SRN can be provided, we can assist on this.
Okay. Next. So this is regarding the buyback form SH9. So SH9 has already been exempted from filing till 31st of March, but some stakeholders are also trying to file the form online through online version. But some stakeholders saying that in my application status, SRN got generated against this SH9, but it shows download option in an action button, but download button is not working. If we download the form from the upload option, only CTC of the board resolution is downloading. So this is something, yeah, this is your
something of the same nature, that
added.
we did earlier,
yeah,
right?
Okay. Yeah.
And another option is when the download button is not visible,
Working. Yeah.
You can click on upload and there is a download link available in the message there.
Okay.
So that link also can be used to download the form and you can see whether the form is appropriate or not.
Okay. Shiv, next. So this is also of the same nature. Shiv, next.
Nitesh,
so this is
before we take on other questions, so what time have we allocated for the webinar?
So it's till 6:30.
Okay, fine.
So this has been answered, I believe.
Yeah. Next. So there are some queries with respect to the charging charges forms, because in the charge form there is a timeline. Once you breach that timeline, you have to pay the additional fees, and beyond certain time limit, after 120 days, you will not be able to file the form of charge. So is there MCA is also mulling upon any kind of extension on the charge form, especially till the V3 portal is not working properly, or
So,
till the
sir,
time?
charge forms got
Sir,
rolled out during the month
yes.
of August only. So, during that time, so we had provided this extension period for I think almost a month. So, wherein we were giving this, we were not calculating ad valorem fee or additional fee if the form is getting filed uh, based on even dates for which forms were not available, or where the forms got rolled out in the first week of August or second week of August. But so, sir, any additional fee waiver, so we have to put a stop for it at certain point in time, and the moment we remove that validation, so we have to start charging the additional fee as per the existing event dates only, sir. So this is how we are providing additional fee waiver for annual filing forms, or the current waiver period that is going on till 31st March. The moment we cross the 31st March, additional fee would get charged as per the normal event date and normal due dates only. So this is how any waiver works, even in V2 system also. So currently, I don't think we are going to get any extension specifically for charge forms, which got rolled out in the
Okay.
last year.
Okay. Next. Shivam, next. So in case of LLP form 8 related to the charge filing, the form is not taking the terms and conditions like special characters. And when download the form, it shows only one sentence, and it is not showing the other part of the details which we put in.
Sir, we won't be able to comment upon it. The generic comment could not be given. Whatever the SRNs which are showing this kind of a issue, you can please share it with us so that our team can have a look into it. Because
So this is
otherwise,
a
we will not
this
be
is a
able.
user specific issue. So if you can share it, we'll examine this.
Okay.
This is not, I mean, we've not seen this kind of issues.
Okay. ठीक है. Shivam, next. So many companies also facing of filing the CSR2.
Sir, CSR2 form is basically in V2 system, so we would
Yeah.
need again the ticket number. So it is nothing to do with V3 launch. Sir. This form is still there in V2, so users have to raise a ticket with the issue description.
Okay. Next.
So what Vijay is trying to say is that if there is an issue, it's not related to V3. I mean, we'll examine it if they can share the ticket number.
Yeah.
What is the problem?
Okay. So this is regarding also a DIN allotment. So we have already discussed it. Next.
Sir, one point would like to highlight for the previous
Yes.
issue. We can go back.
Okay.
So, sir, in V3 system, so even your DIN form gets you are getting DIN number the moment you make the payment, right? So initially your status of the SRN will be shown as approved pending for verification. But your DIN status will be in approved only. So this pending for verification is, I mean, it will not have any impact on the stakeholders. They can use the DIN number, and they can associate the DIN number by filing DAI 12, or you can refer this DIN number in any of the forms. This is pending for verification is just for the back office users to do some kind of verification of the attachments. So if your SRN is showing under approved pending for verification, your DIN status will be in approved status only. You can check that DIN status on FO portal also. So, I mean, even if your SRN is pending for verification and approved, so there is no issue. You can go ahead and use your DIN number. There is no problem.
Okay. So this is regarding the SRN generated after filing the forms in V3, which cannot be tracked through SRN track status option, as an error would pop up informing us that SRN number is wrong. So is there any kind of
So, sir, track SRN functionality is which is there in V2 system, that is V2 service, sir. So you will not be able to use the track SRN functionality of V2 for V3 SRNs. For V3 anyway, we have created a application history dashboard, right? So specific application history dashboard. So users have to go to log into their user ID and they have to go to the application dashboard to check their SRNs and the status. So it will not, these SRNs would not appear in track SRN service of V2. So I
No,
think
no,
that is what
I
users are
think
facing.
the stakeholder wants to know they have generated the SRN in V3 portal, and in the V3 portal, if they want to track the SRN through SRN track status option, track SRN status
You
option,
can track it
you
through my
not able
application.
to.
My application history, sir,
Okay.
not through track SRN option. So track SRN
It is now
option
in my
functionality.
application history.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Shivam, next. So there is question regarding the MGT14 for special resolution, which was passed on March 2023, approving the buyback. So multiple attempts were made, but error is shown as DSC not registered.
So this is actually not a form error. This is actually the DSC registration.
DSC problem, yeah. So we
Yes,
have
it is
discussed that.
nothing to do with the form. And if you just check your DSC and you can associate your DSCs in the profile page, if that has happened correctly, I don't think so.
Yeah,
There
we
should be an
discussed it.
issue.
Yes. Shivam, next. So one stakeholder has filed MGT14 for private placement, which is showing that under processing, due to which he is not able to file PS3.
So this could be a problem while we having a backlog, but as an ongoing process, that is as per process, and there should not, they must be finding delays because of the backlog, but going forward this is not actually a problem, and if at all any form has a prerequisite of other form to be filed first, then those checks are been posed properly as per the law.
Okay.
Seema, if you want to add here, I'm okay, or Vijay.
So, sir,
Under-
again, if we can share us the SRN number, we will check where it is stuck. But for filing PAS3, yes, MGT14 SRN, approved MGT14 SRN is required because PAS3 is STP form. So we need to make sure that before approving, system would automatically approve this SRN, right? So that is why you need to have a approved SRN of MGT14.
Okay, ma'am. So there is a migration problem that somebody have filed INC24 in V2 portal and migrated to V3. The status is under processing, and ROC office saying that he is not able to fetch the form and not able to visible on their work list. So is there any kind of
So again, for this also we need the SRN number. So yes, there are many pending SRNs. So V2 got moved to V3. So there were some initial issues like during the migration part, maybe location was not mapped or something. But we
okay.
have fixed all these issues. So if we can share us the SRN number linked to this issue, we will check where this SRN got stuck.
Okay. Next. So one got resubmission in form INC28 in V3 portal. However, there is no option for resubmitting in the action button. When he edit and save the current form, it saved as a fresh SRN and leads to a fresh filing rather than a resubmission.
Sir, we would want the SRN number for us to go and have a detail onto this, because this seems to be a very specific issue of a particular user. So kindly provide us the SRN of this person so that we can analyze it and come with the resolution.
Okay. So somebody, some stakeholder is trying to file form 3 and form 4 for LLP for change in the object clause, as well as the partners, but not able to file as the contribution of those partners is showing 0, because of which they are not able to proceed with the form. So the contribution is showing as nil, as zero.
Sir,
So
sir, though we would want the stakeholder to share his SRN or the LLPIN number, but the basic reason for not getting the information pre-filled, because what the earlier the stakeholder used to do is they used to file form 3 or 4, and subsequently they could provide change the contribution in form 11.
yes,
So that is why it is not getting the any updation in the master data will not happen through form 11. It will be either through form 3 or 4, like with regard to the contribution through form 3, and any change in the partners with regard to form 4. For appointment and the secession of the partners, they were filing form 4, but however, for change in the contribution, they were not filing the required form. So that is why this could be a data related issue also, and the previous filings not being correct. That could be one of the scenarios, as as Vivek sir has already pointed out previously, that there is too much of a data issue with regard to LLP filings done by the stakeholders, sir. So for this particular scenario, if the SRN could be shared, it'll be analyzed, and a proper resolution will be provided to the stakeholder.
okay. Oh, that an LLP got incorporated in March 2023, having 3 partners, but the system signatory is showing only 2. I think this is the same as in case of a company. We are not even able to file the form 3 as well.
Okay, sir. Similar wherever these issues are not seem to be generic in nature. These are since specific issues only with regard to those LLPins also only. So it is better that they should raise a ticket, and if they have raised a ticket, then they or either can share their SRN number or LLPin number, so that we can look into this case exclusively, and will provide the resolution.
And to add to it, if the stakeholder is talking about master data issues, so we've discussed this previously. So most of these master data syncing issues have been resolved. If there is something, if you share the ticket number or I think ticket number will be the fine thing. If you can share it, we will examine it and get it resolved.
Okay, sir. Sure, next. So incorporation form is got approved and the LLP name appears on the master data. However, the certificate of incorporation is not issued. It has been more than 2 months, but MC office has not resolved these issues yet.
Sir, ye certificates are been generated and also sent, but it could happen that while in the transit, because of email and anything, it could not happen. You can provide us the SRN. We can help you out
ठीक
with the help desk can help you out with a
ठीक
copy of a certificate from the system. Having said that, you have an option of going to my application and download all option is there for downloading all the attachments which are there as a part of challans and set PDFs and everything. So download all option can also be used, and they can have the certificates from there also.
Okay, sir.
So Nitesh ji will try to wrap up in the next 10 minutes. If you can, discuss the important queries from the stakeholders, we can take it up.
Okay.
Yes, that is right, sir. Now I have uh, whatever questions we have received on the system, we have removed all the duplicate questions. So I am around 10-15 questions. So should I take up this, or you want to give a remark on this?
Yes, please. For next 10 minutes, we can take up the questions.
Okay. How do I transfer my data from old MCA site to version 2 or 3?
So with the data, do you mean the account, the V2 accounts, or
No,
By,
data.
by migrating your ID from V2 to V3, it data will automatically come. That is a normal process, and people who have their V2 IDs, they should log in their V2 from their V2 IDs to V3 ID and update upgrade their IDs, and data will seamlessly be transferred to the V3.
Right. So we've discussed about the upgradation of the accounts from V2 to V3. There is a process through which the users can upgrade their V2 account, and if they do that, their application histories and other details will also be migrated to V3.
Okay, DIN is approved in V2 but invalid in V3. How to resolve this migration issue?
Sorry, can you repeat, please?
DIN is approved in V2 but invalid in V3. How to resolve this migration issue?
Very specific, but you just help us out with the specific case, we can check.
Okay, so the whoever is asking questions, either share with us or directly talk to them. Okay, some issue on login ID. The email ID is not available in company's master data, and due to this, form cannot proceed further for submission. Please
The
suggest.
CRF.
Yeah.
V2 data doesn't have you don't have an email ID or a telephone number. So please raise a CRF, get that data uploaded.
Manoji, CRF is an internal process. You please raise a ticket and move through the
sorry, my
institute.
mistake.
Right. Please move through the institutes. We will take it up internally.
Okay. My login is not working due to multiple login issue, and it has not been sorted out for last 4 months.
Very generic question, would need to be specific because there are so many users who are logging in, and if you know the username password, you can go and do a one reset option, and hopefully it should work.
Okay, I'm trying to update registered user to business user for mapping with me. OTP is going to both mobile as well as email, but the director previous organization email ID is mapped, and now email ID does not exist because they have changed the. Without registering the DSC with business user, KYC cannot be filled. I think suggest these are the some issues which are coming regularly to you. So can we make a FAQ for this type of issues?
So Pavanji, we are doing this. We are updating the FAQs from time to time whenever we are encountering that there are some set ways in which the users are making some mistakes that is not as per our system. We are updating the FAQs as well, and we are putting it on the Twitter account also from time to time if there's something.
So all the participants, they should also, when they are facing some issue, they must go and see the FAQ also.
Right.
You will find most of the solution there.
Right. And that is why we insist on tickets, because we monitor it and we check what is the the most prevalent issue, and then we take it up. If there's a user awareness issue, then we put it on the FAQs. If it is a technical issue,
all the questions which we have received,
yes,
it is combined, so you can put it whatever required in FAQ.
Right.
Sir,
Only
just
request
a small
is that
addition.
we get the ticket number. We get the ticket number also for those cases, so we examine it as well.
Just a small suggestion also, that besides going through the FAQs, I would request all the stakeholders to go through the instruction kits attached with all the forms. So in the near future, you'll be seeing the instruction kits without doing the login procedure, so that before filing the form, you will know that what all the do's and don'ts which are required to be done on the form. So it'll be easier for the stakeholders, whatever the common mistakes which are committed by the stakeholders while filing or filling the form, sir, that can be taken care through instruction kits also, sir. Because there are certain changes in procedures which has taken place, it'll be better off to go through them.
Yeah, this is also good.
And sir, just wanted to add one more thing, that about the pay later functionality which we wanted to discuss, which was saying, for the stakeholders who are not confident of making the payment online, they can go for the offline mode payment, and they can do the payment through that also. So they can go ahead and do the make the payment through that scenario also, sir. So that is what I wanted to suggest to the stakeholders, sir.
Okay. Login created for the company, all requisite details had been furnished, but we are unable to log in using the mail ID and not the SIN. What is the solution?
I think this is a specific issue. If they can share the ticket, we'll see. Other users are able to log in. There is not an issue.
Okay. This is DSC issue. I'm unable to create account for a director as a date of birth of director has been changed in PAN card. Entering the detail in the creating account, the error is showing that personal detail mismatch. While filing from DIR for change in date of birth, the error coming in DSC not registered. DSC are not getting registered as account is not made. I think this is a specific issue.
Right.
If your data is not matching, you have to bear with this, and specific things you have to go and set.
Right. And date of birth does not change usually. So if he has made some changes, he has to revert those from PAN.
Okay. Conversion of LLP to company was in process in B2, but migrating to B3, name showing approved as Part A, but not being able to proceed with Part B since 3 months, showing technical error occurred. When this will be resolved? And secondly, can ROC accept previous document like newspaper publication which are time bound?
So for the first part, I hope that the user has migrated his same V2 account to V3 and filing with the same account. Unless he is doing that, the error is a valid error. It's not a technical error. If he has used the same V2 account and upgraded it to V3 and trying to file and facing an issue, you please share the ticket number and we'll get it examined and resolve it.
I think this person is giving SRN number. We'll share with you. Okay.
Okay.
Now there is some forms issue. We are trying to file form SS7. The existing capital structure is getting pre-filled incorrectly in point number 4 and 13. Because of this, we are unable to proceed in the form. So his point is that that is coming wrongly. So what is the solution?
Sir, SS7 is the form number, field number 4 is not pre-filled field. It is only the existing capital which is getting pre-filled, and whatever is the enhancement, the stakeholder is required to provide that on his own. So I think he has to share his SRN for us to have a look into this specific issue, sir.
Okay. Okay. With respect to form MGT14, the alteration of article on B3 portal, the form is unable to be submitted as it does not allow it to proceed to EMOA, and this site become unresponsive. Hence, we are unable to file the form since the transaction on B3 portal.
Sir, this kind of problem is appearing when you go for the conversion. Na? When you go for the conversion from public to private or private to public, you need to change the memorandum and articles.
Okay.
So you cannot, the system does not allow to file you the EMOA, EAOA, even after change in the rules of the Companies Act.
Okay.
So Vivek sir, is there any kind of technicality involved, how to file that EMOA, EAOA?
So I think Chandra and Manoj ji can add to it. What we can say is that we are examining the issue. A lot of stakeholders have highlighted it. I think some scenarios we've already plugged, but still some issues some people have reported that they're still facing the issue. If you can share the ticket number, we will examine if what particular scenario is there.
Okay.
Chandra ji and Manoj ji, if you can add to this.
Okay.
To my understanding, while you're filing the MGT14 for the conversion of company, you are not required to attach the EMOA and AOA. You have to file INC27 at the time when you are doing the filing of INC27. Then the link filing for MOA and EOA will be provided, where you can provide the amended this MOA and AOA. Sir. That is what how the system is functioning. That what we have done is, sir, we have the multiple filings of MOA and EOA in each and every form where the functionality is getting repeated. Like you're first passing the special resolution, then you are going ahead and filing a specific form. So there we have, in consultation with MCA, we have reduced the number, attachment of MOA and AOA as a link filing. There are only 7 scenarios where the MOA and EOA is required to be submitted, attached along, is required to be attached as a link filing, and that those scenarios are already covered in MOA, in MGT14. So if you'll go through the instruction kit, you'll come to know that which all scenarios where you have to do the link filing for MOA and AOA. Otherwise, all other specific forms, in case you are going ahead and altering your authorized capital, then you have to do the alteration of MOA AOA. You have to do it along with SS7. Similarly, is the scenario that if you are going ahead with the conversion of company and respective form, this respective form INC27 is required to file, then you have to file the MOA and AOA in the link filing along with that form. So that is, sir, that is why I requested that you you please go through the FAQs as well as the instruction kit so that the guidance can be clear, and there has been rule changes around it. If you can have a look into the change rules, then it'll give you insight that what all changes has taken place.
Okay. After proceeding for offline payment for assets having NIFT, as
NEFT.
as provided in the instruction, that 3 tab is in your browser window will be opened for My Application, Payment Challan, NTRP portal. No such tabs are opening in our case, and there is no pop-up window block. So what is the solution for this?
This is a very specific issue. If they can please raise a ticket and share it with us, we'll examine. Although it appears that it is an NTRP issue, if it is such, so we'll have to take it up with them, Bharat Kosh team.
Last 4 or 5 questions. In an earlier DIR form, PIN code was wrongly entered. Now business user registration is required for the. While registering, PIN code error appears. To change PIN code by DIR 3/DIR 6, only business user can file. It appears like a circular error. How could we solve?
Seema ji, can you please talk about this? I think this is related to changes in the director's information, and they are facing issue with the login.
Sir, sorry, can you just come again, please, sir? Pavan, sir?
In an earlier DIR 3 form, PIN code was wrongly entered. Now business user registration is required for the director. While registering, PIN code error appears. To change PIN code by DIR 3 or DIR 6, only business user can file. It appears like a circular error. How could we solve this?
Sir, can you, if you can just
We'll
share
discuss this internally. Pavan ji, please share it with us. We'll discuss this internally if it is.
Yes.
Okay. The status of form RD1 shows pending for approval. However, order from RD has already been received.
So this might be a case where the stakeholder has filed in V2, and they might have received a physical order, but the form has to be approved through backend. So if they can share us the detail, we will examine this. This has to be approved at the backend. Only last question, please, Pavanji. I think we can close.
Okay. Filing for incorporation of a company done. Resubmission query raised further. While resubmitting the forms, we are unable to download the PDF copy of form. Kindly guide.
Okay. So in that case, if you can raise it, if you can share the ticket, we'll see.
So Pavanji, in this case, the form needs to be edited again. So there would be a SPICE Part B, which needs to be edited again to fill up the form.
Okay.
But sir, that person are not able to actually download or edit it.
So there must be an option to edit, sir. That doesn't change.
Okay.
So there will be a mini dashboard. Against Part B, there will be edit option available, and the person can edit the form. It will not be downloaded automatically. Most likely, it would be a migrated SRN from V2 to V3.
Okay.
Now because the time is already completed, and I got a message from sir that his meeting of Parliament Committee is still going on. Okay. So he may not be able to join, but thank you, Sanjay ji and Vivek ji and Mr. Krishna, you have given answer, and the entire team of LTI, Seema Madam, Chandra Singh and Vijaya, and one person who was there. So thank you very much. My 2-3 suggestion is there, so it can help you, Sanjay ji. The questions, questions we have received around 50 questions. Some of them are repetitive. We will file these questions. There are 2 types of questions. One is those who are useful for all, and some of the pertaining to specific issues. So the specific issue questions you have rightly pointed out, and that is the participant, they can raise their specific queries. Sometimes people were saying the queries will not solve. It is not correct. If you are raising query, that is going into a database, and then they are compiling it and trying to solve this. And 2 things which Seema Madam and Sanjay ji has mentioned that there is a FAQ and there is a procedure how to. We must read that also and then do it. There are some specific multiple issues, multiple questions, multiple problem. Like same example, which is there, the PIN number, the PIN code is changed and director's number is there. Now it is going to, when you are feeding, error is coming. So these are some ticklish issue or some problem which is specific of person oriented. So less stakeholders as well as the regulator, they should combine this particular new journey, which is helpful to all. It is new things, but simultaneously LTI team can also responsible because sometimes people are making complaint that the when they have a helpline number person is not aware of entire thing. So either we can raise the query and then and after raising query you can give reply, so that can reflect on your portal or through the system. So with these things, I thanks everybody who has given time and patiently listen and try to solve.
Bilkul, Pavanji, your suggestions have been noted, and without the contribution of these professional societies, we can't succeed. So all the suggestions given by stakeholder are considered very seriously, and we are sure that all the issues, if even they are facing today or day after today, we will try to resolve as early as possible, and जैसे कि बताया कि if there are some specific issue faced by any of the stakeholder catered by corporate professionals, definitely we will be happy to assist him.
So what we'll do, we will see all the questions in a specific format. So it can be to you, a specific question separate and the general question separate. So general question is applicable to all. Specific. And we will request the person who has sent a specific question, if they can send their SRN number, we can pass on to the ministry.
Yes. Even today we are contacting or reaching out to the stakeholder and arranging the calls as per even their convenience. We are contacting a stakeholder and asking what are your comfortable time, and accordingly calls are arranged as per the capacity available with the our technical manner. क्योंकि एक आदमी कितना हैंडल कर सकता है वो सब लोग लगे हुए हैं. We have a team or members are continuously reaching out to the stakeholder. So we are committed to make our system better and basically for the convenience of the professionals. User को system अच्छा नहीं लगेगा तो what is the use of that system? The system is not for us, the system is for the user. So we are government, we are basically as part of the government, we are developing the system with the help of our service provider, but we are nothing. All is the stakeholder. सब कुछ स्टेकहोल्डर का ही है, उन्हीं लोगों के लिए सिस्टम बनाया जा रहा है, अदरवाइज मैनुअल होता ही था, उन्हीं के लिए है. और वी आर डूइंग a lot of effort to make our system smooth. तो ठीक है, इट्स अ जर्नी. ये जल्दी ही हम लोग उसको पालेंगे और ऑल दी फॉर्म्स, ऑल दी मॉड्यूल्स वो भी जल्दी ही हो जाएंगे.
ओके
जी, ओके.
थैंक यू.
नमस्कार सभी को, बहुत बहुत नमस्कार एंड थैंक यू.
Thank you Vivek ji, thank you Chandra Singh, Seema,
Thank you everyone.
Vijaya, and so friends, this journey we are stopping here, and as we are continuing our journey of sharing knowledge, next Friday we will announce the program. So 4 o'clock same time on next Friday we will meet with the new topic with the new speakers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.